Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the story of Jamal Trulove, aka 10 Milli Milli. Now, Jamal would grow up in the notorious Sunnydale Projects in San Francisco. Now, Sunnydale was known for being one of the most dangerous and biggest housing projects in the city of San Francisco, and Jamal would endure a lot living in that community. But Jamal always had aspirations of being somebody famous and making it out the hood. He tried many avenues to get fame, even appearing on VH1 show For the Love of New York. But with that not working out, he went back home to the projects. But on the night of July 23rd, 2007, Jamal's life will forever change. A man would be shot and killed on a sidewalk in the Sunnydale Projects that night. It was up to 25 people there when the shooting happened, but only one person would come forth with info about the shooting. A woman named Priscilla would tell the police it was a black man wearing all black that did the shooting. That night, police recorded her statement, and she would give more details. Priscilla would say the victim was chasing a man named Josh, then the victim was shot to death. After this, Priscilla was then shown photo lineups of several Sunnydale men. The photos included Jamal, his brother, and several other young men from the neighborhood. But at the time, Priscilla would say she didn't get a good look at the shooter. On July 24th, the next day, several officers went door to door in the Sunnydale Projects and ended up talking to Priscilla again about the prior day's events. They would show her more suspects, but left again without getting what they wanted. They returned again on July 25th, and Priscilla once again talked to them. Police will only record half the convo with Priscilla, and after 3 days of talking to the police, she would come up with Jamal being the shooter. 10 months later, a woman named Letitia would be arrested in a traffic stop, and police had some heavy stuff on her. She immediately started running her mouth and trying to be let go of any charges she potentially faced. Letitia would say she was a witness of the July 23rd, 2007 shooting. Police showed Letitia a lineup, and she would pick Jamal out as the shooter. In October 2008, Jamal would be arrested and charged with the July 23rd, 2007 murder. Jamal would sit for 2 years with no bail in county jail. Priscilla would testify in court in front of a jury and say Jamal did the shooting, and by 2010, Jamal, who was 25 at the time, would be sentenced to 50 years to life. Vice President Kamala Harris, who was San Francisco District Attorney at the time, would applaud Priscilla for taking a stand. Kamala was known for high conviction rates and was trying to put everyone behind bars. Jamal's defense would say Priscilla was bribed and coerced to take the stand and even given $60,000. Behind bars, Jamal will always plead his innocence and state he has nothing to do with the situation. 4 years later, by 2014, Jamal will be granted a retrial, and so many things will be found wrong with the case, from the DA, the prosecution, and even Priscilla as a witness. 2015, this would get Jamal acquitted and free of all charges, with the police holding information and coercing witnesses, and even making people say Jamal was the shooter. Letitia was said to be threatened and had additional charges added if she didn't say Jamal was the shooter.
Actually, going into it, I didn't know anything about the police necessarily framing me. I just knew that things just didn't add up to the evidence that was actually turned over and so forth and so on. But yeah, credit to what you're saying. Yes, there was a woman that ultimately said that I did it. That was coerced by two of the detectives to ultimately say that I did it, which she wasn't 100% sure. And then there was another witness that that police coerced also, that was like a schizophrenia, dope fiend, went to jail with a gun in her lap, like type, and got her to the point of saying that I did it, which...
Priscilla never even picked Jamal out as the shooter until she was forced by the police, and the police giving her money to keep the lie going was a big help to crack the case. Jamal would do almost 7 years in jail for a crime he didn't commit, missing out on time with his family and his kids, and even his career he wanted to have, but this would make him sue the city of San Francisco upon his release. Jamal would later receive $10 million for his pain and his suffering. Jamal would use his money for several avenues, with helping his community, and even starting his career as a rapper and an entertainer, shortly after he began rapping under the name 10 Milli Milli.
10 million on the radio, the only dance. Dancing. 10 million. Hey, look, what they thought? They was gonna get away with that. Justice was served today. Justice was served today. Definitely was. Hey, listen, it wasn't when I came home. It's today. What they thought? Y'all see that team? That's the dream team. Team Millie. It's real. What they thought? What we do? What they thought? I don't know. They wasn't thinking. They weren't thinking. They weren't doing too much thinking. Huh?
Jamal would drop several songs and even get into acting, appearing in movies like The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and the movie included actors like Danny Glover and Mike Epps, and several other well-known actors, putting Jamal in the presence of some greats. Outside of entertainment, Jamal has been playing an activist role, giving back and making a difference, and sharing his experiences and the injustice us minorities face when it comes to the law.
To the community.
So yeah, I'm definitely giving back to the community. You know what I mean? I'm heavily, concrete in UP. You know what I mean? And my goals and what I'm thinking and hoping to do. I still gotta sit down with the big dog, though I've talked to him about it and it'll all get put together. But I want to start United Players in Oakland.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to open that up. I want to bring that, that playerism, to it. You know what I mean? What Rudy did for me as a kid, he made positivity look good in front of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He know how to talk like me.
Yeah.
He know how to, come in and, talk that slick talk, but then at the same time, tell me like you should do this or whatever, you should do that and a positive, he understood us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, our communities lack is people that's doing, good, positive things,
Mm-hmm.
And doing good, positive things and still have that image of somebody that potentially ain't doing positive things.
Right.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? Where they're identifying and still being able to, to understand the kids. And that's what Rudy did for me. And that's my mentor. Can't be right. You know what I mean? And after so long just going through the case, I seen the breadcrumbs of some mischief. And then, when I actually did get back, I only wanted my freedom at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when I came home, I looked a little bit deeper. I had my law team, man, and said, man, something ain't right, feel me? And we looked deeper, and I had every civil lawyer in the country wanting my case once I sent it out, and I went with Neufeld, Schreck, and Bruston, and I sued. I won $10 million.
That's why they call him 10 milli, ladies and gentlemen. He won $10 million.
On them dancing.
But he lost 6 to 7 years.
Man.
Locked up.
Listen, those days right there, man, you can never get those days back. See, somebody will say, oh, I'll take $10 million to go do 7 years, but would you take $10 million to go with a hope that you ever come home? It's a different mental state, you know what I mean? Just thinking like you're supposed to die in this motherfucker, and that's what the law, that's what the world is saying. And the only way that you get back is if it's in God's plans at the end of the day.
What are those breadcrumbs?
With that being said, respect to him and what he's doing, and all the innocent people who are locked up for crimes they didn't commit. This is a good story of someone getting a second chance and beating the odds. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.